Hey everyone, there's been a little bit more confusion about kind of how to go about solving these. Maybe I went a little too fast. So if you need a little extra help, that's what I'm here for right now. Um, Keeping in mind that all I'm asking for you to fill in these places here, and we're looking at kind of the acceleration every second. So how fast is this car speeding up, if you want to think about it that way? So the two things need to do in order to get an acceleration, right, is equal to a changing velocity, or in this case, speed, same idea, divided by a changing time. So those are the two pieces that we need, and we need to figure out a changing velocity and a changing time. Now, the changing time is this first column that I've got here, and it's based on these times right here. Right. So at first, I've given you kind of a few of the numbers, but let's go down to this next one. This kind of from here to here, from 4.2 to 5.2, that's this one right there. Because the first one is from 0 to 2, and from 0 to 2, it changes by 2. The next one from 2 to 2.9, and that changes by 0.9. And then 2.9 to 4.2, that changes by 1.3. And then 4.2 to 5.2, that's 1. So the next one would be 5.2 to 6.3. So this here, from 5.2, to 6.6. So 5.2 to 6.6. So how do we do that to figure out what our change in time is? Well, I might just throw that in right down on the bottom of a fraction already, because why not? I'm going to take the larger number, which is 6.6 seconds, and I'm going to subtract from that the 5.2. So I'm going to subtract 5.2 seconds. Right. So 6.6 minus 5.2. If you need to come over here and do a little work, 6.6, 5.2. You can, of course, do that on the side, or you can use a calculator. It doesn't matter. So this is 4 and 1, right? It's 1.4. So on the bottom here, I've got, actually, maybe I'll erase it like this. I've got 4.1. So let me go ahead and write that in right over here. So this is 1.4 seconds is the amount of change in time that I've got on the bottom, right, from here to here. My change here is the 1.4. So that's how I go about doing each of these parts down below. These numbers over here on the side, on the other way around, right, is we're talking about acceleration. So acceleration needs to go and use the final speeds and the times to be able to do that. So I need to go ahead and say, okay, fine. I want to look at these two numbers here, because in order to get a final or a change in velocity, I'm going to look at these two parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the larger of the two numbers, the second of the two numbers, which is 22.25. And this is a velocity, right? So this is in meters per second. And I'm going to subtract from that my 17.98. So 17.98 meters per second, right? So I'm going to take that on and do that. Maybe I need a little extra room to do that. 22.25 minus 17.98. And you're welcome to use a calculator, or you can do it longhand. It doesn't matter to me, right, as I'm coming into it. So that would be what? 15 minus 8. 15 minus 8 is 7. Can't do that. So I've got a 1. I've got 11. 11 minus 9 is 2. Then I've got a 1. That doesn't work, so I have to borrow. Then here I'm going. 11 minus 7 is 3. No, 4. 4. And 1 minus 1. So 4.27. Right? So up at the top, it gives me this 4.27 meters per second. So how do I do my final kind of work from this? Is that I need to take these two numbers and I need to divide them, right? So I need to take 4.27, divide by 1.4, and what I'm going to get is my number that's right here. And my units are meters per second per second. Now, this is not something I want to do longhand or the rest of it, so I'm going to go ahead and do that as a division. I'm going to grab my handy dandy calculator here just for a moment, and we'll get into it. So 4.27, where's my calculator? There it is. 4.27 divided by 1.4 gives me 3.05. So my final answer to this, right, is 3.05, and my units are in this meter per second per second. So that's how I do it. I'm finding my changes in velocity, dividing by my changes in time, which is what I got going here, and do my final division, and I've got the piece. Hopefully that's helpful enough for you, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, take care. Peace.